everybody, Daryl Hall of the Exquisite Exotics here. How are you today?
Fantastic.
That's great.
It's so early.
I got you to laugh. All right, today's video.
All fake laughs.
Yeah, well, today's video is, what is today's video?
It's a wrap up of 2023. I think. If you want to talk about that, yeah.
That's what we're doing. A wrap up of how our year went for last year. So I think we're going to talk about snakes and geckos and business stuff in general. We do these like once a year, kind of. This one is a little, I don't really think we do it in like January. We're still in February. Well, by the time this comes out, it'll be March.
That's true.
But it's February when we're recording it, only because there was an extra day in February this month.
That's
the only reason we hit
That's
February. But, so wrap up for last year. We were going to talk gecko stuff. So we had our first lily whites for sale.
Yes. They finally we bought our first lily white. Was it 2 years ago? He was a decent size at the time, so it didn't take too long for him to grow. He started breeding prior to this 2023, right? 2022? End of 2022.
End of 2022, I think.
So any of his babies, those clutches, have finally grown to the point where we put them for sale. So if you've seen our Morph Market, the lily whites on there are from him. He's Jack Sparrow on our website. He's stunning, I think, and some of his babies are gorgeously white. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy about him.
Yeah, we have some holdbacks that are probably not this season, but next season we'll be able to start breeding for us too. So.
We held back more than I think we were planning, just in case, so that we could see where we'd like the direction to go.
Yeah,
So we would probably have some older males and whatnot for sale soon.
I think one of the lily whites we sold was actually that. It was originally a holdback. The first lily white we sold was because it was a holdback. We were like, you know what, we don't need this one based on other stuff coming back. Not the first one we held back, but maybe the second one we held back.
Okay, yeah.
We were like, we don't need that because we have this other one that we like more that we're going to keep. So yeah, it's been good, really good.
Yeah, it's been pretty cool. I actually like the lily white, I guess, project, if you will, if you want to call it that.
So,
it's not really a project per se. It's not like a singular sectional segment.
We've always focused on tricolors, so having another focus in projects is good. I think we are over the next, as we're talking lily whites future wise, I think we're going to start narrowing down our projects into lily whites. Like tricolor is still going to be a big focus for us, and lily whites are going to be something we do. But we've like dabbled with some Dalmatian stuff. We've dabbled with some creamsicle stuff. We've dabbled with some super stripe stuff.
Yeah, the super stripe thing was nice, and in the beginning I feel like we were hyped for it, and it's still really cool to see a super stripe, but I think that after we started really focusing in on tricolor, personal opinion, I feel like once we really started focusing in on tricolor, it really wasn't kind of like a question. Creamsicle and Dalmatian we really weren't fixated on, because tricolor looks so different with so many different things, and we do like them.
And we always tell people, breed what you like. I mean, listen, as a business, you have to pay attention to the market a little bit. You can't just be like, I like animals that only sell for $25 and that's what I'm going to breed. Unless you're going to be like a mass production, wholesale kind of deal. But, so you have to pay attention to the market a little bit. But within a reasonable boundary, breed what you like, right?
Yeah.
Like you could focus completely on lily whites. You could focus completely on tricolors, or super stripes sell fairly decent at a decent price. You could focus on them. Nice high quality Dalmatians sell well, so you could focus on Dalmatian. So breed what you like, because in general you can do well with it. With the geckos. Yeah. And even the snakes, it's a breed what you like thing too, but with some caveats about probably stick with recessives that you like, breed recessives that you like. Anyway. And then production wise, we produced slightly more this year, I think, than 2023 than we did in 2022, which is good. I think we have figured out kind of like with just the two of us, our limits are in production with both the geckos and the ball pythons. So we're probably going to ramp one way or the other. Right now we're leaning towards maybe ramping up ball python production a little bit and ramping down crested gecko production. Not completely, but just not total numbers wise, trying to look at like focusing more on less geckos but higher quality, and maybe expanding the snakes a little bit is kind of where we're leaning at the moment. So production wise, we were slightly higher than the previous year though. Anything else for geckos?
Nope.
No.
I had to think for a second. No, they're just they're popping up everywhere.
Yeah. While we're
And
go ahead.
for us, I just mean like that's the other thing too is I feel like because you were talking about we did more this year, we did have more females that we were breeding, but on top of that, that whole like retaining the sperm for up to 30 days. I don't
No, it's
know.
way longer than that.
It's way longer than that. I mean, I always thought like, okay, within the first few months after you
I've
stop
never-
actually putting a male with them, they won't really. Nope. The whole off season, some of them laid.
Where did the 30 days come from? I've never heard
I
that.
could have sworn years ago when we were trying to figure out like just understanding incubation times and like what we should really be focusing on that it was like they retain sperm for up to 30 days.
I don't remember that at all.
No,
I've always known.
you ever had
I've
those
always,
kind of things
I've
stuck in
always
your
known
head?
it longer than that.
really.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, then
where
maybe
that
that's
number
why
came-
I'm always shocked when I see like, oh
Maybe.
my gosh, we're 4 months
Yeah,
after the breeding period
I've
and
never
we're still
heard
seeing.
that before. I've always heard this longer.
Y'all
than
ever
that.
had that where you focus in on a detail that you could have sworn happened? And this was years ago that we were learning, so this has stuck with me for years.
Yeah, no, it's never been that. Not that I ever heard. I've never heard that anywhere. You're the first person to ever tell me that.
What?
I've always known crested geckos hold retainer for longer than that. Several months.
I don't know. Did I make that up?
I think you did.
I don't think I
you
made
just
it
made
up.
that up right
I don't
now.
think I made that up.
I think you totally.
I mean,
did.
I obviously knew that they were retaining. They retained the sperm. But my timeline is off. Well, I'm always pleasantly surprised. So maybe
I'm always
that's
surprised by data.
it's data.
You think we've been doing this enough years that you'd be like, they keep laying eggs for several months after they breed. That
I just
can't be
thought,
right.
I just thought that they were a little, not anomalies, but not like all of them are anomalies.
Every single one we have is an anomaly.
No, because it's not all of them.
It's definitely all of them.
It's
1
always
plus
those
1
powerhouse.
definitely equals 3. Anyway, back to other stuff. So we were talking about numbers of production, as Holly is confounded by her own information. Ball pythons wise, production numbers were, you can tell which one of us pays attention to like the actual breeding side and which one of us does like the other stuff.
What's the other stuff?
Like the cleaning and the feeding.
I
and
do
stuff.
focus a lot on cleaning.
Right, like I focus, I do a lot of cleaning for like the snakes and stuff, but like my big focus is our breeding and running the business and all that kind of stuff.
You
Customer
do.
support.
Well,
And Holly takes care of, like, for the geckos, she's very much like the feed clean person for the geckos. So, like, that stuff isn't her day to day versus
that's
my
true.
day to day.
I still have a full-time job.
It's true.
So
Anyway.
very busy around here.
Yeah. So, we were talking production numbers. We switch over to ball pythons?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, because clearly I
Um,
don't know anything about crested.
Yeah, apparently not. So ball pythons, the numbers were also slightly up for production this past year, which was good because I think that's the direction we're heading is slightly increased production on them. Interestingly, was increased production without really more female breeders, and I think that's because we had a couple really, really big clutches. We had like that 12 baby clutch.
That is true.
That
we
helped
did.
a
12
lot.
baby clutch.
And we had a couple really big clutches.
A couple
and
8 and 9 ones.
yeah, and we had a lot less slug clutches in 2023 than 2022 because the girls who slugged out in 2022 were a lot of the girls that were first-time breeders, and then this was their second year in 2023, and they had healthy clutches. So,
I was going to add that I feel like a lot of the first timers were no longer first timers.
yeah, so that helped a lot. We didn't add a whole bunch of new breeders, just a couple this past season, and they were ones that we grew up. And actually, that's something we'll talk about at the end, is adding breeders and stuff.
Okay.
Production was up a little bit, which is where we wanted it to be. The overall quality of the animals went up. We produced, I don't know the total number, I'm going to say half a dozen, but it might have actually been more than that, visual DG pieds for the year. So that was really nice to see, because I think the previous year was only like 1 or 2. Actually, it might have been closer to like 10 or 11 this year. It was a lot. It was a lot of them. We held a lot of them back, so only a couple went up for sale.
Yeah.
And there's still some that we're holding back while we decide what we want to sell versus keep from the previous year too. We're letting them age a little bit, see how they age, because DG looks better with age, and then deciding what we want to do with them from there. So there's still several more that are probably going to go up for sale from this past season once we figure that out. It was really good. We produced, what else did we produce that was first time for us? Female DG Pod, because last 2022 we only produced male DG Pods, so we produced a couple females. And then a lot of DG stuff this year. This year was a big DG year for us.
It was, whether it was head or not. Yeah. It was definitely, there's a lot added in.
Yeah, and we worked towards quite a few more double recessive projects. I think we started, not that we didn't have anything, but we pushed more towards DG Clown stuff this past season. So we tried to get some of that.
I was going to say Clown, that one clutch that basically almost every single one of them I liked.
Yeah.
And I Clown in it.
And I think we started pushing more Ultramel double recessive projects too. Like I think we got working towards some Ultramel Clown and some Ultramel DG stuff.
Yeah, if you remember us talking about how we have just been unlucky in the Ultramel game over the years.
Last
year was the year that he decided to get in gear or get in. The one we were like, oh my gosh, did we get you? And you were just like, nope.
Yeah,
it's not gonna. We grew them up and.
Females too. Females in general, like.
Well, they got bigger.
They finally started. We had a whole bunch of females that refused to lay.
It's not a clutch, but from when we purchased, and they finally grew up big enough to produce good size clutches.
Yeah, that was a big help. And we bought a Visual Ultramel double head hypo Pied that wasn't locking, and he started locking last season. And actually. As I'm looking over this way, one of the clutches one of the females that's already ovulated for this year is a triple head Ultramel hypo Pied that we produced to that Visual Ultramel double head hypo Pied that we bought. So that's one of the first clutches that will be coming this year. The clutch number 6-ish, I think. Looking at what we have.
For 2024?
I think so.
Sure.
It'll be number 6 for 2024. So, she's waiting for prelay shed in the middle of next month. So, that's going to be.
You can read that over there.
I have good eyesight without glasses. So it's it was good. I think overall the ball pythons, it was a positive year. And we are narrowing that down too. I think probably this past season after females laid was probably the most proven breeder females we've put up for sale throughout the year too as well.
Yeah.
As we narrow down what our focus for ball pythons is. I think that's a good takeaway from 2023 is we realize we want to narrow our focus a little bit. And we've been doing that kind of throughout the time.
Yeah.
And then we're talking about, do you have anything else for ball pythons?
Nope.
Okay. Then we're talking about new breeders. We mentioned kind of skimmed past that. So we come back to that. I think this is going to be the year we add some more stuff into our collection too. Last year we kind of just bred what we had, but this year I think we're going to add at least one, if not two, kind of higher end male ball pythons, and then I think we're looking at 2 to 3 higher end crested geckos males to add into our collection too. If you look at our collection over time, you'll notice that we kind of breed our own females most of the time, not never. Most of the time, and then buy high-end males to kind of throw into our collection as our own process that we follow.
And even though we've kind of jazzed it up over the last few years, we haven't really added more in. We've kind of been just finagling with who we've already had as far as that goes, as far as the females we've bought in the past or anybody we've produced or whatever, and we kind of just been figuring that out. But now we're like, you know what? I think you've really narrowed down what your focus is.
Yeah.
And you want to add more in, but just with outside genes.
Yeah, and we started with a lot of animals when we very first started this, both in ball pythons and crested geckos. But clearly, you need to add in new genetics into your breeding projects. You can't.
I guess technically you could say, here, I bought these 3 females and this 1 male, and that's all you breed for a few years, but then they get older,
and then you need to breed their babies. You need something new to breed them.
If you're breeding the babies, that's what I'm saying. I guess technically you can just bring in this, and this is all you do. But really, if you're trying, the further along you go, and you're like, this is what I want to focus on, or whatever,
and you want to grow,
exactly, you want to expand.
Yeah,
really should start adding that in instead of just every year pumping that male and female out with clutches.
Yeah, so this year is going to be adding a couple more important pieces to projects that we're working on, I think. And then looking towards the future as we're kind of doing business plans and stuff, I think 2025 is probably going to be the year, depending on how this year goes, 2025 is probably going to be the year that we add a new project in for the ball pythons, I think. which will probably be a purchase of like 1 male and 3 females of the new project. Yeah, to be determined what that project is. If you know us, and if you have followed us for any length of time, I can almost guarantee you know that it's going to be recessive.
What?
Yeah, I know, right? That's going to be something.
I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, that's true. You don't know how long sperm retention is. What's recessive mean?
Stop.
So yeah, I think that's a pretty good wrap up.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Else?
Nope.
All right.
Yeah, I was trying to think. Like, I think that this is still the focus right now. I mean,
Oh, we did add new racks this past year. We didn't mention
we
that.
added new racks.
We did. We added.
Bought a new door.
1, 2. No, that was this year.
I know, but that was just an old door.
1, 2, 3.
It still
4,
took a lot of work.
5 new sea serpents, maybe 6.
Oh, at least, yeah.
Maybe 6.
Yeah.
We got a lot of new sea serpents.
Yeah, we're packed.
Yeah, we have another sea serpent that we're picking up here in a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But that will. The snake room is almost to capacity as far as space. We have a few more racks we want to replace and get other stuff. And the gecko room is only got space for a couple more racks too. So, yeah, we're finally filling up where like our rack space is going to be what it is. We won't have to buy any more racks.
Yeah.
How nice is that? Finally. Okay, I think that's it.
Yeah, I got nothing.
All right. With that, then, like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff, and we'll see you next week.
Take care.
Bye, everybody.